All right. Today's question is how to find and hire qualified attorneys. I hear this all the time. Attorneys are always asking me, they're saying, I want to grow my firm. I want to start scaling up. I want to start focusing on the business rather than working in the business. But the problem is I need to find attorneys and I just can't find anyone that is qualified to take over my casework. So I figured the best person to tackle this subject is my partner, Bill Hauser, who has written so much stuff on this. He's created so many videos on this. So, Bill, how can these attorneys find and then hire qualified attorneys so that they can take over their casework?
It's a great question. I think most attorneys shouldn't. And I say that tongue in cheek. It's because most attorneys just aren't committed to growing their practices. And hiring an attorney is hard. And if you're not committed to growing your practice, you should not hire an attorney. You should just keep doing everything yourself, being a slave to your clients, being on call for them and doing all the casework yourself and grinding until midnight and, putting all these false deadlines on yourself that you think you're the only person that you can, you're the only person who can do casework. Think about how insane that is. 8 billion people on planet Earth, right? And nobody can do your casework. So once you've made the decision that, like, I always say one of the most important things an attorney can do is schedule their case management removal date, right? Like this day, starting, whatever day, I am done handling cases and I'm never going backwards again. I am never going to go do the casework manually or myself ever again. Okay, great. Once you made that decision, then let's talk about how to hire attorneys. So I think what I'll zoom out and start with is, first of all, the importance, and Andy, you read the book, No Rules Rules. What does that book say about paying top of market?
Well, it says that if you want to attract the best people, you've got to pay the most money because the top people, they demand the highest salaries. Yeah.
So, Andy and I read this book called No Rules Rules by the founder of Netflix, Reed Hastings. And it talks about how, they basically just pay whatever top of market is and then expect absolutely excellent performance from everyone on their team.
Well, what's interesting also about that is they were saying that they did a survey and they found that 66% of people will leave any job for a higher pay. So if you want to get the best attorneys away from other firms, just pay them more. That's kind of what it comes down to. Or people will leave your firm because other people will offer them more money. That's another thing to consider.
Right. So then the next question that we get is, well, how do I afford to pay them more? Right. And I'll say this as nicely as I can: become better at business, right? Become better at making money, right? So that you don't have the excuse of boohoo, I can't pay people more, right? I always say, like, the number one problem, until you have the problem of I have too much money, I don't know where to put it, that's your number one problem. And you should just focus so maniacally on your one thing until you have the problem of I have too much money, I can't even reinvest this money fast enough into the business, right? That's your number one problem until you get there. So hiring attorneys comes down to, first of all, what is your unique selling proposition? This is the same stuff that Andy teaches on the marketing side. I have this belief shift that I went through with Cameron, my coach, Cameron Herold, Chief Operating Officer of 1-800-GOT-JUNK. He taught me that the same principles that go into attracting dream clients for a business is the same exact principles that go into attracting A-level talent. It requires a unique selling proposition. It requires, all of the same elements, right? That it takes to attract the right clients. So what is the unique selling proposition of your firm? And is that clearly conveyed to this potential attorney? Now, the first place, think about the entire funnel, right, of a hiring funnel. The first thing that they see, an attorney, is the job description, right? Now, what do most people do when they title a job description or a job title, right? On Indeed, Monster, right?
Attorney wanted.
Yeah, exactly. It's like some generic title that has nothing unique about it at all, right?
Yep.
So, associate attorney, that's it. And then, like, that's a compelling headline. Are you kidding me? Right? So you have to copyright the headline of your job title like a professional copywriter would. You actually have to think, okay, associate attorney, and then put something in brackets after it, right? Like fast growth family law firm in Atlanta, something, right? Fast growth. What practice area are you in? What's the size of your firm, etc. Or something unique. I've seen people put signing bonus in there. Associate attorney, 10K signing bonus, right? Anything other than associate attorney or whatever, managing, whatever the title would be. So make something compelling on the headline. That's step one. Step two is literally think, if this person opens the job description, what does that first sentence say in the job description? Most people, they have roles and responsibilities. It's a list of all the stuff you're going to do for me. It's all about me. Well, you must be detail oriented and and this experience. There's nothing to do with what they're about to make a life change by working for your business, right?
Yeah, 40 hours, probably more than 40 hours a week dedicated to you, 40, 50 hours a week dedicated to you. You got to sell them on that,
Yeah, 100%. So when you look at the job descriptions, no crap, you're not getting quality applicants and you think there's no attorneys out there to hire. It's false. It's more about the actual copy of that first sentence and the title of it. And then also you have to have a unique interview process. For us, we just hired, I think, 8 people in the last 40 days. And these are high caliber people with experience, right? And we basically revamped our entire recruiting process when we started doing panel interviews, where we would just take anyone who applies and we started doing group interviews and then asking them to do something after that group interview, like reading our vivid vision, which is our 3-year picture of where the business is going to be 3 years from now. We have them watch a video on our vivid vision and read it. And then they have to make us a 60 to 90 second video explaining how they intend to make our vision come true. So I'm not saying do that, because for attorneys, you probably can't do group interviews because there's not going to be enough volume of applicants coming in. But think, step 3 is something unique about your recruiting process. So it's not just some dull interview that they've heard from everywhere else. If you get those 3 things right, the job title is compelling and professionally copywritten. The first sentence is about them and compelling. And third, you have a unique recruiting process so that their first impression of dealing with you is, whoa, this is completely different than any other law firm I interviewed with. You'll start attracting A-list attorneys.
And that plus combined with a higher salary, just understanding that, the top people, they get paid the most. And the reason why is because they're the best. Bill Gates, that's another thing I talk about in No Rules. I think it was Bill Gates that did this study where one A-level performer will outperform like 3 B and C level performers, so long term, it's actually
20 times he found.
Oh, is it 20 times? Jesus.
A coder. Yeah. So like when he would hire like software engineers for Microsoft, a top performer was 2,000%. Yeah, 2,000% more effective than a low or mid performer.
So it's cheaper to hire one great attorney than several mid-tier, just okay attorneys, long term. So if you rearrange your thinking, if you kind of like start like reframe how you think about where people fit into your company and what every dollar is actually going for, you'll start attracting better attorneys. And then once you start attracting better attorneys, you'll start getting better output, and you'll be able to step away because you have higher quality people that you can actually trust when you're not there, and they're going to do a great job and they're going to go above and beyond. And then on top of that, because you're paying them more, because you're paying them top of market, you don't have to worry about losing them to other law firms who are going to swoop in and then pay them an extra 15% more than you're paying because you're already paying top of market.
So
cool. So tomorrow we're going to actually have an entire show just on hiring. You want to talk a little bit about what tomorrow is going to be, Bill?
Yeah. So we're going to be interviewing 2 clients of ours who each in under 4 years, each of them have hired 7 attorneys. Like, I'm not saying just hired 7 and lost 3, like hired and kept 7 attorneys with their firm as they've scaled. And you're going to learn exactly how they did it step by step. And these are firms that also doubled in revenue. One of them 6x'd, so 600% increase in revenue in just 2 years. You're going to be able to learn exactly how they did that while hiring attorneys along the process.
And that is completely free. It's tomorrow at 4:00 Eastern.
Yep.
And I'm going to drop the link in the chat because I realized I didn't put it in the description. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go through. I'm going to edit the descriptions here in a few minutes, and I'm going to add the list in the link in the chat. But in the meantime, you can go to eventbrite.smbteam.com, and then you can sign up for the free training that is happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Bill will be there, and it's going to be really, really cool. If you need to hire attorneys, if you need to help attracting attorneys, then we've got a couple attorneys on there that have done that. We got Bill on there who's going to teach you how to do all that. So till then, we'll see you tomorrow on the training, and thanks for hanging out with us. Talk to you guys later.